Hey all, it's Matt here, back with another Minimalist Diary, and this entry I wanted to expand on what I was talking about in the last video, that way beyond just decluttering your possessions and owning less stuff, minimalism can help you better manage what's going on in your life and what's going on through your head so that you can let go of things that aren't serving you. So what I've been grasping onto here is how very few things are actually worth the effort. Now, I'm not saying this to be defeatist or a fatalist. I'm just trying to get a proper minimalist assessment of where we could be constructively attributing the energy in our life. Money seems like it's not worth earning because nothing seems worth the cost of working for it. Achieving goals and maintaining relationships seems to ask so much more of us than it returns, because it's never quite what we hoped for, and the initial feeling always fades away. But what I'm trying to do here is reach beyond the defeatism to see that there's actually a philosophical concept here that reflects an aspect of spirituality, and that is taking from life what is offered rather than trying to force it. It's actually a very Taoist philosophy of just letting things be and going with the flow, or perhaps a Stoic type philosophy that suggests if you can't learn to be happy with what you have here and now, you will always struggle to be happy. These perspectives actually have to be exercised in order to become a strong reflex in you. Attachment and desire always overrides, and that's why you have to build resistance to them through training. It seems we're constantly persuaded to reach for the stars, to chase after our dreams, but I think that's where we're going wrong, because we can't tell everyone to give it all up to chase their dreams, knowing that not everyone is going to make it. We will probably spend the rest of our efforts trying to convince ourselves that what we gave up was actually worth it, or that somehow we didn't try hard enough and that we're useless. It's just starting to dawn on me that taking life as it comes, rather than driving yourself doggedly to these lofty aspirations, is the new level that I'm reaching with my minimalism. But what does this mean in terms of actionable strategies? It means you have to hold on to your goals, your dreams, your standards a lot less lightly. That is, don't give up altogether, but not to feel that success ought to come at any cost, because you may end up paying a whole lot higher cost than it's actually worth to you. This is why so much of my mission is centered around my barn here, getting rid of the stuff out of it and beginning the conversion, and then slowly realizing that I was happy to live in there. And though I realize it's no enviable achievement to live in a barn, I mean, who wants to live in a barn? It's something I had to let go of and just be myself and be free. I have always found myself doing the craziest things to save money and to live my own life uncompromised, and that hasn't changed. That's me. So I've been focusing on doing less lately, and I realized living with simplicity is a lot like fasting. But rather than referring to eating less, it is actually a fast of actualization. That is, I am doing less, I am planning less, and I am detaching from goals that I would otherwise be disappointed if I didn't reach. That doesn't mean taking up physically, mentally, or spiritually bad habits, consuming more bad food or trashy content, or being less physically active. It just simply means doing less, pushing for less, and being happy with that. So you're outcome independent. But much like when you're fasting, it is not physical hunger that makes you want to eat. It is your brain prompting you to continue these routines that you're attached to. So when you cease doing as much, it's your brain that's telling you you're bored, prompting you to seek stimulation, or giving you this sense of emptiness that needs to be filled with mundane tasks that you'd usually occupy yourself with. The brain wants to create activity, outcome, busyness, goals, achievements, and it's all just an excess of activity that is perhaps not really necessary. Again and again, what is it that you're hanging on to? Do you have to push yourself to achieve these things, or is the goal something that perhaps you feel you have to do for reasons you haven't really thought about? Do you really have to work harder to earn more money, to buy more things? you know that it just perpetuates. Wanting more just causes you to want more. Do you really have to push yourself each day to be super fit just to feel good about yourself? Or is it enough simply to remain active, healthy, and moderate your diet? Do you really need to know what's going on online all the time? Consuming garbage information, meaningless news, and the mindless thoughts and opinions of others? Hey, maybe you do, but I'm experimenting with doing less. And though I certainly have some passing moments of feeling vacant, empty, purposeless, unmoored, I am pushing through it to find out what it is that is really missing, that I really need to be doing, when in reality I could just be going through a period of adjustment. It's like the mentality of rewarding yourself. Break the cycle. Don't punish yourself in the first place. Why on earth would you? So don't reward yourself. Don't indulge in behaviors that you would need to be rewarded for. Just be. Allow that essential thing that is wanting to manifest to come about. Shed more layers as I've been doing and get closer to the core. Oh, but I've got all this art and music and books and websites, so many unfinished projects waiting to come out of me. So how about I practice letting it come out rather than forcing it? The act of manifesting is not a forced one. What begins to happen is I begin to recognize what is most deeply important to me. Time to think, a sense of adventure, of challenge, of leaving behind the things that don't matter to me to be closer to what's important. The refinement process to reach the raw, essential necessity. You see, my art, my music does matter to me, but almost too much. It's caused too much anguish, feeling like I didn't meet some kind of standard. I'm not gaining from some transaction by participating in it. But my writing, my blogs, and these videos I make never caused me that kind of anguish because I never asked anything of it. I just did it for my own sense of clarity and reflection. My travels matter to me because it sparks adventure, excitement, new possibility. My barn, my farm, my land, that excites me. The relationships I have with the people I truly value and share loyalty with matter because I know that these are not weak and the good times we've shared are real. So soon I will be back on the road to Eastern Europe and Southeast Asia on another adventure, enjoying the weather, enjoying the lifestyle there, and I don't know if I will be still committed to doing regular installments of this video diary while I'm away, but it's obvious to see that I am making progress and I am evolving with this. It goes beyond simply getting rid of stuff that I am struggling to understand why I feel attached to. I'm actually moving through that, and now I'm confronting even bigger stuff like the idea of living in this barn or looking for new ways to live a cheaper and more detached lifestyle and getting more clarity of thought. So once again, I'm Matt. Thanks for joining me on my Minimalist Diary. Until next time, cheers.